everyone, Chivos here, bring you another Hyundai A-League fixture review for the fixtures of week 20. And there was a huge game that saw a lot of goals. We'll talk about that in a minute. But obviously, the first game of the weekend saw my team Melbourne Victory lose 1-0 to Adelaide United. Now, a late goal from Bruce Camore saw Adelaide United continue their unbeaten run, which is now at 12 games in a row. And Melbourne Victory have conceded yet another late goal, which does hurt our chances of retaining our title, which is ridiculous. And we do have the Asian Champions League coming up on Wednesday night. Hopefully I can get a review out for you. I'm pumped. Kevin Muscat reckons he's going to get out of the group stage. I certainly hope so. But I've already covered this match in another video, and I will leave a link down in the description below. So make sure you guys check that out. Now, the second game of the weekend saw Newcastle Jets beat Wellington Phoenix 3-2. Newcastle Jets put in a good performance and will be happy with the result, while Wellington Phoenix looked comfortable until a red card changed their fortunes. Now, Hamish Watson went from hero to zero for Wellington Phoenix, as he managed to bag a brace in the first half. He was sent off in the second half, and ultimately, he let his team down because Wellington did concede a goal after he was sent off. So, Nordstrom put in a good performance for the Newcastle Jets, a new signing for Newcastle. He's been playing fantastic since his arrival, and without him, I don't know where they'd be. So, he managed to give Newcastle Jets the win. He also managed a second half brace, and Newcastle grabbed a much needed 3 points, which still technically sees them in contention for the top 6, but they're still a very long way off it. Now, the third game of the weekend saw a 1-1 draw between Sydney FC and Western Sydney Wanderers in the final Sydney derby of the regular season. Vidicic opened up the scoring early for Western Sydney Wanderers when he scored the first goal of the match in the 13th minute. But then Jamison accidentally netted an own goal, which gave Sydney FC an equaliser late on in the first half. So Sydney FC need to be careful going forward because Perth Glory are hot on their tail and they could overtake them in the next 7 weeks, no doubt about it. So Western Sydney Wanderers, on the other hand, they've finally reclaimed top of the table once again, thanks to a bit of an upset which happened with Brisbane Roar this weekend. We'll talk about that next. So, the fourth game of the weekend saw Perth Glory beat top of the table Brisbane Roar 6-3 in a 9-goal thriller. That's right, 6-3. 9 goals in a game. Absolutely ridiculous. So, the match equaled the record of the highest number of scorers in a single National League game because there were 9 different goal scorers. It's not often you see 9 goals in a game with 9 different goal scorers. So, Keogh opened up the scoring for Perth in the 5th minute, and he has managed to bag his 3rd goal in 4 matches. So, Andy Keogh picking up some form there. McLaren equalised for the visitors 10 minutes later when he managed to tap a goal in question marks whether it was offside or not. But, he scored against his former team. I'm sure he's happy about it. Then, Petratos gave Brisbane the lead 11 minutes later when he scored from the penalty spot. But the lead did not last long because Harold managed to score his 6th goal in 6 matches and he equalised for Perth Glory. So, North scored the 3rd for Brisbane Roar 4 minutes later, but then Marinkovic equalised and made it 3-3 for Glory 2 minutes later when he scored what was a magnificent free kick. Now, one of the dead ball specialists, not Guy Finkler, I'll tell you that now, but he's up there for the dead ball specialists in the A-League. Lowry added the 4th for Glory in the 41st minute when he headed home from a corner. And it was a record 7-goal first half. Now, it's not often you see 7 goals in the first half. And my lord, with Perth Glory happy about it. They did a certain job over Brisbane Roar. But that wasn't it. Castro added the 5th for glory when he slotted home a penalty early in the second half. And Garcia added the 6th and final goal of the game late on when he headed home from close range. Now, fantastic win for Perth Glory. It sees them continue their run of unbeaten games. I think it's 5 now unbeaten, which is fantastic. And they've managed to score quite a few goals in their unbeaten run. It's fantastic football to watch. And they're in form right now. That's all I can say. They have found their form and they're knocking on the door of the top 6. Brisbane Roar do have to worry about a leaky defence. When you concede 6 goals, you know you're in trouble. And with 7 games left to go, they can't afford to be that leaky at the back, because otherwise they're not going to win the title. But I will reveal this now. I am going to a Perth Glory game. It's going to be a long trip, I'll tell you that. I live quite a while away from Perth. We're going to a Perth Glory game. I will vlog that experience for you. And with Perth Glory in form at the moment, I cannot wait for this game. They will be playing against Newcastle Jets on the 7th of March. That is the game I will be attending. If it's a nil or draw, I'm going to be pretty pissed off. But, you know, the form Perth Glory have at home at NIB Stadium, outstanding. So I am pumped. Make sure you subscribe. You know, I'm going to bring out a vlog. We'll see what it's like. It'll be my second ever football match live. And I'll tell you what, I am really excited for it. So, make sure you stay tuned for that. But then we will talk about the final game of the weekend, which saw Melbourne City beat Central Coast Mariners 4-1. Now, Mitch Austin scored Central Coast's only goal of the game in the first half. And he made a fantastic run on the counter-attack. He beat Paolo Retre and then slotted home at the near post. It was fantastic. And Central Coast went into the halftime break with a 1-0 lead. Couldn't believe it. When I was watching the game, I could not believe it. They've scored against run of play. They take a lead going into the halftime break. But then it didn't last long. Captain Patrick Kisnorbo scored the first for City when he headed home, only his second goal of the season. Then in the 66th minute, there was a bit of a controversy. Well, it was really the 56th minute, but you can call it the 66th because Aaron Moy took a penalty. And it was a penalty, but that's not the talking point we're here for. Storm Roo, slightly young player from Central Coast Mariners, the right back, had a bit of an injury problem. I'm not exactly sure what his injury is. I haven't looked up at it. I know he's done something to his foot or his leg. He had to be stretched off, and it was terrible to see, you know, especially this late in Central Coast's poor season. Yet they have such a huge injury. And, you know, what can I say? Hopefully he'll be alright. You know, hopefully he will be alright. I do wish him a speedy recovery. It's not good to see football players getting injured, especially when they're long-term injuries. And when you see players getting stretched off, you know it's a real problem. So, Stormroot, I hope you get better, mate. But don't worry about your season, because Central Coast is already over. Now, if you do look at things here, Roo's injury stopped play for 10 minutes. It did change the mindsets of the players. And Aaron Moy did bag the penalty. But then, Garuccio added a third for City 3 minutes later. And really that ended Central Coast Mariners' chance of a win. There's no getting back into it. When you're 2 goals down, you've seen a crucial injury. You've got 10 minutes of stoppage time. You think there might be a chance. But when you play the likes of Melbourne City, you know you're going to struggle. So, insult to injury when Ferreira was sent off for Central Coast. He got a red card in the 85th minute. So not only did they have to play 5 minutes, they also had the 10 minutes of stoppage time. So 15 minutes with 10 men, you're never going to come back. I'm telling you now, you are never going to come back from that. But Aaron Moy added the 4th for Melbourne City in the last minute of the game, the 10th minute of stoppage time, when he managed to score from a dead ball situation. Now, Melbourne City will be happy with the win. It does keep them in the top 6, while Central Coast, obviously, their season's done. I think they're more worried about Storm Roo's injury than what happened in for the final, the result. You know, who cares about the result? one of your teammates is injured, you need to worry about him. But we will now go to the A-League ladder. And as you can see, there is almost no movement this weekend. The only movement we see is Western Sydney Wanderers go top after their draw. And it is because of one goal. The goal difference is 7 and 6. There's one goal in it at the top of the table. So it is still anyone's game. You see Adelaide United sit there 2 points. 2 points behind the leaders. And there's one thing I did raise in my Melbourne victory video about Adelaide United. And that is the fact that Adelaide United don't have a recognised striker. Well, they do. It's Bruce GT. Scored 3 in 17. Forget him. Their highest goal scorers have 5 goals apiece. How are Adelaide United in third? They've only scored 30 goals, which is fine, I understand, but 25 conceded. They are playing very, very well. Now, Adelaide United, can they win the title? I think they can. Do I want them to? No, I definitely don't. Melbourne City sit in fourth. They're 32 points. They're still capable of winning the title. And I reckon they're going to be up there. You know, they've scored 50 goals this season, which is 15 more than any other team. It's crazy. Then you go to my team, Melbourne Victory, in fifth, 29 points. Yeah, you can almost forget about us winning the title. We need 2 wins. We need slip-ups from a lot of other teams. But Perth Glory in 7th on 28 points. Forget Sydney FC. They're in the same situation as us. Perth Glory, 1 point and 1 goal from Sydney FC. 1 point and 2 goals from Melbourne Victory. Perth Glory have a real chance of making finals. They could knock out Sydney or Melbourne, which would be huge for the competition. Newcastle Jets sit in 8th. They picked up a win this weekend. 6 points off Sydney FC. They could still get into the finals too. Don't count them out. Wellington Phoenix, I don't think they're going to make it. And Central Coast Mariners, their season is done. You know, when you're 17 points from finals with 7 games to go, that means you've got to win almost every single game. It's not going to happen. Bruno Fornaroli tops the goal scoring charts with 17. He didn't add to his tally this weekend. Bessart Brisha didn't add to his tally. I think that's 5 games in a row. Brisha hasn't scored now, so he's struggling at the moment. Jamie McLaren bagged 1 this weekend. He goes up to 12. Castro bagged 1 as well. He goes up to 10. And Mitch Nichols is on 9 assists. Aaron Moy got another this weekend. He's on 17. Then you go Bridge, Barbarousis, and Holosko. Most saves. Who is it? It's Sorensen, as and always will be. He's keeping Melbourne City in the title hunt. Birighitti is not far behind him, followed by Moss, Kovic, and then Danny Vukovic down there. Completed passes. Who other than Corona? There you go. He has taken a charge at the top. Don't expect to see anyone overtake him. And most clearances goes to Matthew German still. Durante's on 67. Poscaliero's on 67. Paddy Kisnorbo and Matthew Delpierre are on 64. But that is the table. And that has been my Hyundai A-League fixture review for the fixtures of week 20. If you've enjoyed it, don't forget to smash the like button. Subscribe to see more Hyundai A-League content. And hopefully I catch you guys on another video.